And right now on Action News Live at midday, our newsroom continues to go through that new report about the 1 October shooting investigation.
It is 81 pages of information about the shooter, a possible motive, and evidence investigators have collected. Contact 13 investigative reporter Joe Bartels is live at Metro headquarters with what we know so far. Joe?
Yeah, Dana and Todd, Sheriff Joe Lombardo ended his drought of public information speaking out this morning, but all these new details still not adding a lot of light as to the motive in all this. The sheriff says Stephen Paddock was intent on causing destruction, collecting that arsenal of weapons in his hotel suite, but so far he is the only one believed to have carried out the attack. The sheriff did say there is a federal grand jury process now taking place, which could lead to charges for others who may have been involved before the attack. The sheriff would not elaborate beyond that. Then there was talk about Stephen Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, and her level of involvement. Take a listen. Well, the sheriff there was also explaining that they don't believe any charges will be coming against Mary Lou Danley. She's been emphatic that she was not a part of the process of the planning or carrying out the attack whatsoever. So Metro Police saying they're not going to move forward on any kind of charges against her. Now, Metro Police did say the FBI is working constantly to attain a behavioral analysis of Stephen Paddock. Police also mentioned that they found child pornography on one of his devices. What part that plays into all of this, the FBI and police still trying to get to the bottom of that. And police within the last hour have released that 81 pages of documents and pictures that we're going through right now. They are, some of the pictures, actually quite chilling and graphic, telling a little bit about the hell that was unleashed on those Route 91 festival goers. But we are going through all of those new details. We'll have much more in later editions of 13 Action News. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
All right, Joe, thank you. Certainly your excellent work continues. You know, if we could ask you another question here. I know, the night of the shooting, you were there on the ground, of course, reporting. And I'm just curious, just your take about, where we were that night, obviously, to where we are now, as far as the public's perhaps easiness they have with the amount of information that's been released.
Yeah, Todd, when we were there that night, it was really just a chaotic situation, and there wasn't obviously a lot known in those very, very early throes of the investigation. Here we are now more than 3 months after the attack, and it sounds like police are still trying to find out that motive in all of this, and hopefully these 81 pages that they released today will begin to shed some light on what was going on in the process and the planning and carrying out the attack. That is the one question that's haunted a lot of people, and a lot of people on social media I saw on Twitter are saying, okay, now what? Now where do we move from here, and when are we going to find out the actual details of what happened? And police are pleading again for patience in all this. They said they will have a final report out maybe by the end of this year, but still no closer today. Here we are 111 days now since that attack, and no closer to a concrete motive in all this. One possible thing that the sheriff did allude to today, which I found interesting, he said that a possible motive was the gambling losses that Stephen Paddock experienced just before this shooting as a possible reason why he wanted to exact revenge perhaps on this, but that's still not a concrete motive yet in the eyes of law enforcement as to why this attack carried out.
Yeah, Joe, we all want to know the why. It's not going to make things any easier, but we want to know that why.
All right, thanks so much, Joe. Reporting from Metro headquarters. We're also continuing to get in new details and new photos from that report that they released on the shooting.
Yeah, and Yasmin, you have more on this. These are really, really haunting, some of these images.
Yeah, and it's the first time that we've been able to see these, including this picture right here. This is one of the first things that officers saw when they got to the floor. It's a food service cart, and difficult to see, but it's actually a laptop and wires attached and underneath of that cart. So officers were worried that it was possibly an IED. This is a picture of Stephen Paddock's vehicle. Officers searching that vehicle, and inside they did find they did find exploding targets, which are legal. There's a look at the targets that were found inside that vehicle. Now, they're normally used for target practice, but if they're hit with a bullet, they could then explode and ignite. And you may remember that Stephen Paddock fired at jet fuel tanks right near the concert site near McCarran. Well, now we can actually show you the exact area where it hit. There you go. You can see that at least one bullet did hit that fuel tank. Thankfully, there was no evidence that it sparked a fire of any kind, but obviously chilling pictures. We're still going through those 81 pages right now, so we'll have more updates for you.
Yeah, it's haunting images, but you think how much worse it could have been. I hate to say, because
Yeah.
it was so bad, but boy, you look at all the things that he had planned and attempted to do, and it is scary stuff.
It is very, very scary stuff, especially when you see the amount of guns and ammunition. Terrible.
All right, if you want to take a look at some of those pictures for yourself and want to dive into the report, we have it for you at ktnv.com.
All right, Dan, some big